Greetings and welcome to Gothic Homemaking. I feel like it was only like a week or two ago that I was saying we don't do unboxing videos around here, and yet here I find myself doing an unboxing video. But I'm not gonna unbox one box. No, I've got many boxes to open up today, because as it happens, there's been quite an accumulation of boxes here at the Lair of Voltaire of late, and I'm fairly certain there's some fascinating things inside. Things that I thought you might like to see. So we're going to start out with a box from Scientificwoman. I gotta say, the wooden box is really a beautiful touch. Scientificwoman Biological Art and Interactive Taxidermy. Scientificwoman is the brand name of a young lady by the name of Michaela, who I met at Sinister Creature Con when I was performing there a year or two ago. I was instantly super impressed with her booth because it's an Oddities and Curiosities booth, and she seems to specialize in what could best be described as taxidermied cephalopods. Recently, when I played at Sinister Creature Con again, she gave me a present! That is really, really gorgeous. I'm just so absolutely impressed by her work, and I will say this, she did tell me while we were talking about some of these pieces that she never paints or dyes anything. So the fact that she painted the plaque black and purple to match the lair was a very, very sweet touch, and this is really lovely. It's going to look great here at the lair. I'm extremely impressed by Scientificwoman. She's a young person who has a really, really strong sense of branding. The work itself is really, really excellent. She had a team of people working her booth at Sinister Creature Con in Sacramento. I told her, I said, it usually takes people until they're in their 40s to have some of the same things that you have in place. So I think she's so impressive. Obviously, as a young lady who loves science, being out there and exploring science is a really wonderful thing and should be an inspiration to young women who are interested in science everywhere. But above and beyond that, I think she's an inspiration to absolutely anybody, male, female, human, gender, genderless, everyone really, who has an idea and is willing to work really, really hard, because in a very short period of time, I've started to see her pieces in oddity shops around the country, and I think she's making a name for herself. So I wish you the very, very best of luck. I'm a huge fan. Our next box comes from Joann Fabrics and Craft Store, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, fool, you just did a Joann's unboxing. But as it happens, I had to order something else from them. I'm going to show you what it is. So this is not one of the free gifts they sent me. This is something that I got on the website, and I ordered this because I need it. And there it is. It's upside down. How embarrassing for me, how embarrassing. It's a spooky Halloween wreath. You're probably wondering why at this point I'm still buying spooky Halloween wreaths. I'm going to tell you why. Well, you see, when Joann Fabrics and Craft Store sent me that wonderful box of gifts a little while ago, my favorite one was a spooky Twig wreath. And I hung it in the doorway of the Lair of Voltaire, circling a beautiful gargoyle. It was the perfect place for it. But then, a couple of days later, I was working on a DIY project that involves certain bats hanging from the ceiling made out of vinyl albums, and I needed something to hang them from, and it was the perfect thing to hang it from. So then I was left without my wreath in the hallway. So I got online and I tried to buy another one of those spooky wreaths, but the fact is they are completely sold out on the web store. I sent friends to different Joann Fabric stores around the country and they couldn't find them anywhere. Then I saw this on their website, and the thing about this is that if you look really closely, it looks like the spooky Twig wreath is part of this. So I thought we might be able to disassemble it and end up with that wreath I wanted. So let's see if that works. So there seems to be a wire attaching this all together, so I'm just chopping the wire off. Just cutting the wire everywhere I see one. It seems like this this brown twig wreath is just attached to our spooky twig wreath, so I think we can get it off. Should just pull off now. Oh, I think it's all, it might also be glued on. Just take the skull off. Oh, it is not the spooky twig wreath. These twigs are actually individually glued onto here. So maybe we'll put that skull back on. Alright, well, mission aborted. I thought I was going to be a wise guy and I was going to deconstruct this and get the spooky twig wreath out of it. But you know what? I love it just the way it is. This is just going to have to go up around my spooky bat in the hallway. So we got some extra skulls out of the deal. Oh well. You know, not everything works out the way you hope it will. It's a pretty cool wreath anyway. Next up, we have some boxes from Alchemy Gothic. So this is the first of two boxes that I have from Alchemy Gothic. Ironically, I got these back when I was shooting episode 1 of Gothic Homemaking 2 years ago at this point. But I ended up featuring their glassware instead. So this has been sitting in a corner of my apartment in a bigger box up until now. I don't think I've ever even opened it. This is the Heart of Otranto chalice bowl. Let's take a look inside and see what it looks like. Okay. Well, that's an interesting piece. I like the color, I have to say. I wasn't really sure what color it was going to be in real life, but it kind of matches the layer. It looks like a really good place to put jewelry or potpourri or something of that nature. I could paint this black. I could see painting this with black lacquer, and then I think it would fit in this room better. Or since the bathroom is going to be primarily white, if I ever get to the bathroom, this might look really, really good in there, especially with some potpourri inside. The next box is also from Alchemy Gothic. Similar story. This is an item that I had hoped to feature in episode 9 of Gothic Homemaking, a bone to pick, and then we just never got around to it. The episode was full and this guy just never even came out of the box. So let's have a look. Oh, I dropped something. Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well. A man of infinite jibe. Well, this is a very interesting skull, isn't it? It looks meaner, I think, than a real human skull. This guy looks like he's got sort of a bone to pick. But what really makes it interesting is all of the designs on it. It almost looks like a map. Maybe they're alchemic. Oh, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Alchemy Gothic. So I think there's alchemy symbols all over here. And then he's got a gold tooth. He's got a gold fang. He's one pimpin' skull. But it's a really, it's a beautiful piece. What was it that I dropped? Oh, this is strange. So apparently it comes with a fang you can wear. I'm kidding, it's not really a fang you can wear. It's like a plastic pendant of a fang. I suppose so that you could be BFFs or something. I think that's kind of silly. I don't know anybody who would wear a plastic gold fang. Actually, that's not true. I know one fool who would wear a plastic gold fang. But the skull itself I think is really, really great. We'll find somewhere really cool to put this. The next thing I'm going to show you is a really, really incredible piece of art, which I also found at Sinister Creature Con in Sacramento, California. And what makes this so interesting is really not just because it's so beautiful, but because of what it's painted on. Take a look. Isn't that gorgeous? Frankenstein's monster stenciled onto a vinyl album. I'd like to tell you how this piece of art came into my life. So a couple of years ago when I was performing at Sinister Creature Con in Sacramento, another one of the booths that I was really impressed by was the booth of Crude Inc. And at that booth, there were all of these incredible images stenciled onto vinyl albums. They're apparently made by an artist by the name of Jeff Adams. Now, I saw two of them that I fell in love with. I have them here. One of them was The Bride of Frankenstein, and the other one was Frankenstein's monster. So I thought these two would look really great, possibly framed on the same, within the same frame, hanging over my closet door, and I bought them immediately. I also bought this one. I think you recognize her, Lily Munster from the Munsters, for my friends Anka and Patrick from the band The Long Losts. I don't know if you know them. They're a really adorable married couple. They have a band called The Long Lost. They play really, really great Halloween-y kind of music. We've done a few shows together, and they're having a baby. And they have a song called Lily Munster. So I thought it might be nice, a nice present for the nursery. So I picked that one up for them. But it wasn't until I got home that I realized that because the color scheme at the Lair of Voltaire is black, gray, and purple, that Frankenstein's monster seemed a little out of place. So after getting home, I sent Jeff Adams an email and I said, there isn't any chance you could make me that Frankenstein print in purple, and subsequently, he sent me this. So the answer is yes, and apparently all of his art, you can request special commissions, you can request them for them to be in different colors. So now I've got, oops, it's because the other way around, isn't it? The matching set. Don't they look beautiful together? Now, many of you know that I have a very, very strict no movie memorabilia rule at the Lair of Voltaire. I want my living space to seem like the place where a vampire lives. I don't want it to seem like the place where a teenage fan of vampire films lives. But when I saw the work of Jeff Adams, I made my one and only exception. So I'm so delighted to have these pieces, and I look forward to framing them and putting them up in the lair. And that is all of the new stuff that has found its way into my crazy living space. I hope you've enjoyed seeing it all. I hope in the process you've encountered some wonderful artists, some wonderful craftspeople, and some wonderful companies that make really cool stuff that you might like as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time here on The Lair of Voltaire. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe so that you'll never miss another Gothic homemaking video. Full episodes of Gothic Homemaking can be seen right here on The Lair of Voltaire.